Hello, traders. I want to go over the reversal patterns for today. First off, another losing day. I ended up taking, let's see, 28 trades. Now, one in, one out, that's one. So this is actually would equate to 14, but some of them I added. So I in one and then add another one. And then when both of those go out, that was four. So really, I didn't take that many trades, but I took more than I wanted to. Um, Overall, this probably actually accounted for that one I added, a couple I added along the way. So subtract eight because it was the same trade. So about 10 trades I took, I guess. Um, Better than I have been. It wasn't 70, wasn't 80. So better, but not what I wanted. What I wanted was one good trade. And I got it, but I got scared off of it. Let me show you what I did. I can show you on the preferences here. Maybe. Oh, you got to make it small for that. Preferences, show chart executions, and I did a little pre-market garbage. Oh, that was all over here. I accidentally did that yesterday, and it was a complete accident. I wasn't trying to do that. This one right here, I think this is pre-market stuff. Yeah, I think that's all pre-market stuff. I added. So those all were pre-market. That's 10 trades right there. So you take those off of that total, and that's we're down to 18. So then once the market opened, I got in right here. My intention was to hold that one until it got down to this level right here. That was my intention, to at least there. I was thinking we may go all the way to here, but at least there. That's where I was wanting it to go. And so I got in here, and then when we made a push back up and failed, I sold another one. So I had two on there, and my intention was to hold that all the way till it hit right here. Did it ever get there? Why, yes, it did. Did I hold it? Nope. Look at all that. Okay, so that was my first trade. And when it got back, when on this push right here, I was up $400 when it was down here, but it bit into this 15-second breaker and started going back up, and it ended up rejecting off of this fair value gap right here. But I was just that was the fair value gap after the upside breaker. I can show you better over here, but I will show you better in just a minute. But that was the rejection point, and I should have held it through that. But because I added, when we came back up here, that brought my average entry to 88, and I just saw $400 evaporate all the way down to like $60, and I was already in the hole from my pre-market trade, and I was like, no, I can't risk it. I got to kill it. And so I put $70 in the coffer. Killed it on that candle, like top tick killed it. And then we went down and got me right back to where I would have been up another $400 again. And so that's when things got a little crazy. And it started going down again. I sold another one short, and it pushed down, sold another one. And I was expecting it to go all the way down again. And I ended up buying them back. It looks like I bought them back around here. And then I went long somewhere around here. It looks like I went long and sold it, just doing a scalp. Went too long here, and or maybe I sold. Not sure which, but some of these were losers, some of them were winners, and I ended up getting up $14 on the day, finally, after all of that being up 400. And then we go pushing all the way back up here. Again, we violate this, but we don't take the high. And I ended up selling short up here and making a little bit, but I was real nervous. And we started chopping around. You can see I took a lot of trades in there, onesie twosies. Each of these are in and outs. So in, out, in, out. But we did finally make it down here. Now let's look at just overall. My plan is one trade, possibly two, and that's it. So let's look over here. Let's see if I would have done that. Let me get these off. It's just too much clutter. I want to see that thing with one in, one out one of these days. So here's our opening gap. This pushed up to the halfway point of that opening gap, and then we started to reject. So let's look over here on a smaller time frame. We'll hide micro right now, and we'll just look at the big one. The one. And this was a good entry. I mean, I stuck to my plan perfectly until this didn't work out, and then I kind of lost my mind. But so here we are. We push up to the half gap. We don't go any higher, and we start pulling back. That's the highest up close candle, so we look for the last down close before that high peak. That's this one. We have a fair value gap, push through it. We came down pretty good ways. I put my order to go short right here, 114. And I got filled, and it was beautiful. We went down, and we came back up, and I think that's where I possibly added. Yeah, I think that's where I added. And then we pushed all the way down here. That's where I'm up $400. And then we came back up here, and I got scared, and I killed the trade. Should have never killed the trade. But this one would have tested me again. I could have taken profit there, though. The fair value gap that it was referring to, once we came back up and did not make this newer high, we had this fair value gap pushing away right there. And you could say it was working off of that one, but I don't know that you really could say it. But you can see these just tap, 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 and then away we went. So I could have taken profit right there. Well, this initial push down created a 15-second breaker that's here, and that respected it. And so we pushed back up again, but we failed to take the high. So from that point, I'm thinking short, and we did go short. And I did try to get in on this, but I would get in and then have one of these happen. And then get in again and have one of those happen. And so it was just awful. This little whole section right here was awful for me. But ideally, if I would have taken this initial trade, you can see that's a beautiful setup, reversal pattern, wicks into it. We're good. My stop is up here 25 points away. I think it was at 39. Yeah, 139. Let's see, 25 points right there. That was my initial trade, approximately 25. It was above the breaker. That was a beautiful trade setup. And it would have worked out just fine if I would have been able to just walk away, say, take profit here or take profit. At this point, none of this was here. All we were seeing was this. So you don't know how far it's going, but even putting one there, opening range low, that would have been fine because it never would have gotten anywhere close to even my entry. And eventually it got down here to this 4-hour low, which is my initial target, was right there. So that on one micro, I ended up adding two. I don't know that I would have left that much risk on with two when it got up there to that fair value gap again, but to right there, that's $222 times 2 for one micro, $444. And taking profit anywhere along this way, here, taking profit there, would have been fine. It would not have been $444, but it would have been a whole lot more than negative 121, negative 120, whatever it was. So that's 137. That's 200 and let's just do 40. There we go, $280. Yeah, $280 to right there. That would have been a whole lot better than what I ended up with today. So these reversal patterns will typically produce, but this was also a hunch that we're going lower. So it was not we still had this gap to fill up here. It's the day after MOC. Anything can happen. So the rate decision was yesterday. But when this one violated that, it worried me. But you can see after it couldn't go any higher, we started respecting it again. And I actually went short off of this one. I went short somewhere in here. And then when it started ripping back up, I thought, okay, I'm a gone duck, and I killed it right there. I think I went short on this one, and then it ripped back up right there, and I was like, okay, I'm about to get stopped out. Because each one of these runs at 25-point stop loss, it was taking $50 from me every time, $50. Let's see. We touched the center, started pulling back. I think I got in right there. Yeah, I got in right there. That's 21 points. So my stop would have been just a little bit higher than that. But when I saw that ripping up like that, I was thinking it's taking these highs. They're equal. It's taking them. And I killed the trade. And it would have worked out. And that was just the name of the game after that. I would get in a position. I didn't have the guts to hold it. Probably got in one here and got one of these jobbers. That's awful. But, that's 100 points or so. That's a big move when you're in a position expecting it to go somewhere. Look at that. All the way from there to there is 75 points. That's quite a rip. You get in here, and it's going to rip right back up against you without taking a low. So, yeah, this was awful chop right there for sure. Overall, I'm not proud of the fact that I killed this trade. I would have rather lost $50 on this trade. Adding in was part of the reason I ended up killing it, because that brought my entry down here to 88. And so from 88, 25 points from 88, that's $100 right there. That would have got me above the breaker, but it would have been $100 risk when I'm already down 145, and my account was down to $250 or something like that. So the risk was scaring me, but it would have been fine, and this would have been a really nice profit. So I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to have to find the willingness to hold those, even if I do leave. I think I need to quit adding to my position. Number one, that original one would have helped. That would have worked out. If I lost, I only lost $50, and would have been okay. I would have had to waited all the way until 3:20. That's New York time. 3:20 New York time for that trade to actually work out, but it would have worked out. So that's it. We did have this one down here, but when we ripped down, we just ripped straight back up, and it was real fast. It was right at 9:45, but I considered taking it. I did consider taking it because we had taken these 4-hour lows, but it was really, really fast move, and you had to be quick to get in on it. But this is our last up close on a 15-second chart. When it's moving that fast, sometimes you got to use a 15-second chart. So that's our last up close on the move down. Had a bullish breaker, fair value gap, and it actually was not a terrible signal. Look at that. But when you've been going down since midnight, you're not so sure you want to take that. But yeah, it was actually a pretty decent signal. And I wish I would have taken it, because I could have made money on the way up to half the gap and then made money on the way back down. But I'm just not trading super well or super confident right now. So just the way it goes. I hope I get my confidence back before I blow up another account. We'll just have to wait and see. But if you struggle with stuff, don't worry. You're not alone. This is not an easy game to play. Sometimes I want to quit, but I'm not going to quit. All right. I think that's all the price action I can show you. That's a 15-second chart. It makes it look a whole lot different. We'll go back to the 1 minute. Yep, that's it. Hope y'all had a good day today. Made a lot of money. I know my buddy Adam got a good one here. He took that trade. He's trading with a little more size, so he made enough. He was done for the day, and that's real good. I'll mark these charts up and get ready for another one tomorrow.